My job here is to give an analysis of the crisis between farmers and herders. From the perspective of someone who is in the National Assembly, and the role Parliament has played and can play in reducing these kinds of issues that have plagued our country, and tend, if you listen and believe to General Olusegun Obasanjo, portend the danger of even leading to civil war if not handled carefully. I will run quickly through this. I didn't know this was so digitalized. His Majesty has embarrassed me by presenting a digital program earlier. I will read and then forward a copy of what I put here together to the organizers so that they can form whatever it is, the agenda that we're going to be dealing with in the future. Before I start, let me say that His Majesty had invited us to the palace not too long ago. He mentioned it here, where, amongst other things, he talked to us about an agenda with TIV. That is a TIV agenda. Many other nationalities within and outside Nigeria, the different people are people of obscure origins, expanded eastward from Futa Toro in Lower Senegal in the 14th century. By the 16th century, they had established themselves in Masina. It's upstream from the Niger Bend, and were proceeding eastward into Hausa land. They roam around with cattle in search of pastures around countries in the sub-region, including Nigeria, Mali, Niger, Ivory Coast, Ghana, etc. Herders and farming communities have records of conflict rooted firmly in the complexity of sharing land that is owned primarily by the farming communities. I'm saying here that the land that these Fulani people need to graze their cattle on is not just land that is unowned, it is owned by the communities that farm on those lands. They are migrant people. They come from place to place looking for where grass is rich and the land is fertile with good water so that our cattle can graze and drink. These conflicts over time, these conflicts are on the rise mostly due to increase in population from about 33 million in 1950 to about 192.3 million in 2018. This is by World Bank population estimates and projections done in 2016. Other factors that have brought about this crisis are drought and environmental changes in the original habitations of the herders, degradation of land, widespread changes in land use regulation, government policies, amongst others, which increase pressure on limited range grazing land and water resources. If you go to areas in Senegal, northern Mali, Burkina Faso, and the rest, you will find that those areas have been greatly hit by drought and have become totally arid. There's no water, there's no grass. People who have remained there have lost their business, including areas in Sudan. They are unable to graze their cattle and have lost them in numbers. So they have looked southward from those areas to look for fertile areas from where they can graze their cattle. That has led them to drift down towards our area. And if you look at the Benue Valley, in the whole of Nigeria, there's no area that possesses the nature of rich soil and the quality of grass that grows in our area. Which is why when you even farm things like soybean around the Guma area, the quality it produces is one of the best anywhere in the world. Those people have drifted in this direction in search of grazing areas because their original homes have been taken over. They have come here to our area, not to pass. They're not just passing by. They have come to stay because they cannot go back anywhere because there's nowhere to go back to. So our areas are the place. Our area is a new, beautiful location that they have to and must occupy. Most of these crises occur in the central and southern states of Nigeria, where there is more rainfall and more farming activities carried out throughout the year, as against the quantum of rainfall and aridity of the land in northern Nigeria. Farmers allege damage to their crops by migrating herdsmen, while herdsmen allege poor treatment by their host, rustling and theft of their cows. Evolution of Fulani herders and farmers' relationship in Nigeria. Fulani herders and farming communities have had relationships for millennia. These relationships have evolved over time with a mix of complementary to conflict. In the pre-colonial era, customary land tenure was practiced and the local communities had control over all their land. During this time, herders and farmers had a mostly symbiotic relationship built on communality of interest. For instance, herders moved their cattle through harvested fields where they grazed and fertilized those lands via the dung of those animals ahead of the preceding farming season. There was also exchange of some animal products such as milk and beef for grains by our people. I'm sure most of you experienced these things growing up. I did too in my time, where the Fulani people passing by our lands would give us milk and sometimes take chicken because they don't really like to eat their cow. They will take your chicken, they will take your rice, they will take your corn and in exchange for milk and sometimes even cow meat itself. With the advent of colonialism came the formal land tenure system and laws and regulations that radically affected particularly the landowners and farmers. These laws disrupted the previous cooperation, weakened customary law and informal tenure, informal tenure and resource use. Control over land use was vested in the colonial authorities. That started the problem. Before the Oyibo people came, because my grandfather could own his own land, he could do with it whatever he pleased. He could allow the Fulani man come onto the land, graze his cattle, do business with him. But the moment government took possession of our land and decided that they had the authority to give to whomever they pleased, the problem between the local farmers and the landowners and the Fulani man started. Previous speaker had mentioned, His Excellency had mentioned this situation. Once the Oyibo man came and established land ownership by government, they then began the process of creating even grazing routes without asking the people who were on the land where the grazing routes were supposed to pass. There was definitely bound to be conflict, and that is why the conflict has come. Working with the existing traditional structure in the north of Nigeria as the colonial masters implemented indirect rule, they pushed a Fulani agenda, vigorously seeking to expand into areas where the Fulani 1804 jihad had failed to take them into. They initiated and eventually got imposed on our societies and land a grazing route for herders that virtually cut through most of the country, traversing its most arable lands. This was in essence a new Fulani territory established for their exclusive use. We were told in one of the executive sessions in the House that there was a huge corridor that had been created from all the way down from Sokoto to the east and some points to the ocean, where the Fulani people should graze without disturbance. Those lands, that corridor was wide and large. It prevented the original inhabitants from encroaching, in this sense, encroaching on those corridors, and gave the Fulani people who were meant to pass through complete control of those lands. There was no way in that kind of situation that this crisis would not have come. As earlier stated, reality has refused to agree with the position of these colonial masters and the governments that shortly followed them, that were of course manned by Fulani people. Population has continued to astronomically increase, and with it education, awareness, and the greater demand for living and farming space by our people. As earlier stated, from 13 million in those days, from 33 million in those days, we have grown as a nation to nearly 200 million today. Those lands in central and southern Nigeria that were sparsely populated now have millions of inhabitants. As our societies have grown and taken more and more charge of their farmlands for economic purposes, so too has a massive drought hit the north of Africa, particularly ravaging areas in Mali, Sudan, Niger, part of Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, destroying the Fulani herders' livestock and their economy. They have thus sought to move into territory that is arable with plenty of water, no tsetse fly, and rich vegetation. They looked at their maps, found the Benue Valley rich in this area. They also know that Nigeria does not have a border system that works. Thus, they set out in their numbers and have been trooping into the country ever since. They are not passing by, ladies and gentlemen. They have come to stay. As opposed to how they came in the early days as friends, this time they have come in various forms. They have agents who infiltrate communities and buy land legally from poor, unsuspecting landowners. They marry our daughters and become in-laws to us that we should accommodate. But to ensure that they are not turned away by any community, they come with maximum terror and death. The previous symbiotic relationship that existed between us and them has been replaced by absolute hate and mistrust. Matter of fact, there isn't a farming community that would trust the federal government's position on anything connected with Fulani herdsmen, as the federal government is viewed as an enabler of the Fulani in the face of their atrocities. Costs associated with herders-farmers conflicts in Nigeria. There are various costs associated with conflicts between herders and farmers. These include loss of human life and destruction of sources of livelihood. Between January and May 2013 alone, herders-farmers crisis had claimed over 300 lives around north central Nigeria. These are estimates that are picked from formal government journals. They do not reflect the true position, because in truth, thousands of people have died, even in Cleveland alone. But this statistics covers the states of Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, and Taraba. The International Crisis Group in its studies and report of loss of life from Fulani herders and farmers' crisis confirmed an escalation of the conflict and an increase in the loss of life. The report released on the 26th of June 2018 stated that about 1,300 lives have been lost due to this crisis between January and July 26, 2018 alone. The group also stated that these conflicts have evolved from spontaneous attacks to premeditated attacks that are becoming deadlier by the day, especially in Benue, Nasarawa, Plateau, Kogi, and Taraba states. That is those states that are around the Benue Valley. Claiming scores of human lives, destruction of crops produce, destruction of crop produce, and killing of some cattle because of cattle. That's not truthfully, sometimes in the retaliation, some people kill a few cows. In Benue states, these conflicts have resulted in human genocide, destruction of vast farmlands, displacement of persons from their home, occupation of their lands by the Fulani, and the proliferation of arms. The total number of IDPs is over 100,000, particularly after the invasion and occupation of our land by Fulani herdsmen in Guma government between the 1st and the 4th of January 2018. This is as reported by Premium Times on the 10th of January 2018. There are 4 number IDP camps in Benue, all of them overflowing with desperate people whose lands have been taken over by marauding Fulani herdsmen. Government efforts are finding a solution to this problem. The Benue State government, led by His Excellency Samuel Otom, has continually put the issue of Fulani killings in Cleveland on the front burner of national discourse by refusing to back down in the face of intimidation and threats, even at the risk of endangering the personal safety of the person of the governor. Benue State passed the anti-grazing law, the anti-open grazing law, which prohibits open grazing in Benue State by Fulani people and by indigenous people too. This law makes it mandatory to ranch one's cattle to remove incidents of crisis between herders and farmers from our body policy. The federal government on this part has unfortunately taken various positions that clearly show a bias and sympathy for the Fulani herdsman. It is the policy of this federal government that grazing routes be reopened to Fulani herders. Particularly, the present government is committed to reopening those grazing routes. They do not want to compromise. It is also the position of this federal government that the Fulani herdsmen are the victim, not the aggressor. It is President Buhari's position that the communities accommodate their Fulani neighbor. He said that to His Majesty the Tutsi and the Benin delegation when they went to visit him after the massacre in Timland not too long ago. The loss of Tiv lives have simply not been an issue to the federal government, as no attempt has ever been made to arrest or punish the Fulani herdsmen who had variously, via the organization Mayate Ala Cattle Breeders Association, MACBAN, openly claimed responsibility for the killing of our people. Recently, the federal government attempted to sneak in a Ruga settlement agenda. I'm sure most of you here heard about that. Again, led by Governor Samuel Otom, a revolt put paid to that issue. Not necessarily put paid, has halted the issue. Because they come with one issue in the night and try to sneak it in. The moment you fight and think that you have succeeded, they are bringing another one to the other door. They will not stop. Because their agenda is to resettle Fulani people who have lost their lands elsewhere. For those of you who are active on social media, and I'm sure all of us are, you will recall that not too long ago in Ghana, the security agencies led an onslaught against these Fulani people who were killing them and virtually sent them out of the land. The federal government quietly opened its borders and asked them to come into Nigeria. They have come in the numbers. His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, once told me, and I reported to His Majesty the Tutsi too, that one of his biggest problems in Nigeria and greatest enemies is Governor Samuel Otom. Because as far as they are concerned, there are peaceful Fulani people who simply want to come and live with their brothers here. How can a team man not be this unaccommodating? I flew on board British Airways to London yesterday with one of my organs who's a prominent Fulani man, and we spoke for a long on the flight. Told me about how accommodating you people used to be, and wondered why we have become this hostile. In the course of discussing with him, he mentioned that he had come from Mauritania. See how far Mauritania is. And he kept praising Nigeria. Nigerians are good, the people are friendly. How will we not be friendly when you're happy, you seek to take over? You find our land and our resources beautiful. You want to take over. You're not seeking to just take over for the sake of taking over. You're not passing by to be friends because you need the land for your long-term use. So you will pretend initially that you're coming in peace, but your agenda will be to destroy our people and take our land over. If you go today in the north central of Nigeria, the only state that is, if I can call it so, unadulterated by what they come with. They come with religion too. They come with Islam. In Benue State. Nasarawa is gone. Kogi is gone. Today, Jos is gone. Wase in Plateau, gone. Niger, gone. Kwara, gone. When we resumed in this term, we held a meeting of Northern Christian legislators elect, members of House of Reps elect from the northern part of Nigeria. There are about 192 or 93 members from the north of Nigeria, of which only 40 are Christians. In the last house, Nasarawa, of the 6 members coming from Nasarawa, 5 members coming from Nasarawa in the last house, 3 were Christians, 2 were Muslims. In this house, 2 are Christians. In the last house, 1 from Kwara, was Muslim, was Christian, and 5 Muslims. Today, it's 6/6 Muslims. There's not one Christian member elected from Niger State. There are 2 Muslims in Plateau today, which means that when we start from the floor, 3 Muslims, right? Yes, one from Jos North, which means that when we go to the floor of the house and then raise a motion saying Fulani people have come and attack people, the Fulani people say you must remove the name Fulani from that motion. So any motion that carries Fulani will not fly on the floor of the Senate or the House. Because we sit quietly, because they have not come to your house yet. They take Niger, you say nah, they are the ones who have more people, they will not come here. They take Plateau, you do nothing. They take Kogi, you do nothing. They take Kwara, you do nothing. But it's encroaching in, and the defense lines are becoming smaller and smaller. By the time it hits you, like he's hitting us in North Bank now, he's hitting us in North Bank now. Very soon, they keep testing. Give them another 2, 3 attempts. A member representing Makodi Guma will be a Muslim. What next? As earlier pointed out, the problem with most initiatives and plans of the federal government aimed at resolving the herdsmen-farmers conflict in Nigeria are treated with suspicion by particularly the farming communities, who have since viewed government as an enabler of the Fulani herders. It has thus removed the government from the desired position of an impartial arbitrator and made it almost impossible for resolution to derive from the federal government. With mistrust has naturally flowed suspicion and all kinds of conspiracy theories, including the suggestion that the jihad of 1804 is still on and seeking new grounds. The way forward, ladies and gentlemen, is for the Nigerian government to embrace the model ranching law that obtains in the state. It has worked in various other climes, including here in the United States. For those of us who grew up watching cowboys and Indian movies, those were about ranching. Those cowboys had cows that they escorted from one part of America to the other, following the seasons and grazing them. They have enforced ranching in America.
That's true.
And so people ranch their cattle here. When you ranch your cows, like the governor pointed out earlier, the cows are fatter. And the milk is richer. The meat is better. When cows trek from Sokoto to Enugu, it becomes skinny and the legs are bony because of extreme work. And so there's nothing of nutritious value in that animal. So we are even, the benefit model even helps them with an agenda that even makes their cows better. But even when they decide to ranch, it should be those people who are willing to allow them room to ranch that should give them land. And I would suggest firmly that kind of land should not come from any state. We are not cattle headers. I'm a farmer, does it mean that I can go to Sokoto and ask them? And does it mean that I can go to Sokoto and ask them to give me land to farm in Sokoto because I'm a farmer? Or is it because they have the power of government that they will say, I must give them land in Benin State to ranch? Your business is great, cow herding. Mine is farming. And I will farm in my land, and you graze wherever you can. The way forward, foster livestock development as an economic earner. Their ranching is the only way, except of course the end agenda is land grab, as many of us think it is. Those of us in the diaspora, all of you, must get on board and join this struggle to protect native land. And the Herman land to that extent, especially the Agatu area. You have friends here, and you have the rich. You need to tell the world for us how we are being killed on a daily basis, to create room to settle an invading group of violent pastoralists. It would be nice to have you come home from time to time, because if you keep looking at those pictures that we put here, Like many others who look at those pictures here, you may think we are over-dramatizing. But the problem is real. You cannot drive to Bele today on the Makwedi Goma road, the one that takes you from Lafia, because one, you may be attacked by a Fulani man, or two, you may be attacked by a thief man because he's in a desperate situation. They live in those things that you just saw on the screen and have no means of livelihood. They cannot farm anymore. So if they see big flashy cars passing on the road and they get up and stop you, yes, God will punish them, but not too much. Because they are desperate. So you need to join us. You need to come home from time to time and to see for yourselves the level of devastation your people suffer. Because those pictures can never tell the truth. I told a friend of mine, the Secretary General of Meatiala, told him that when he posted to someone else on Facebook, Salikuba, we did student journalism back then, very large scale. And he said someone, thief guy that was challenging him, that you people refuse Ruga, we too don't want Ruga, that's him the Fulani now. And that the Ruga that you're saying you do not want, we are already on your land. He posted openly. Yes, it's true. They are already on our land. They are in Ragatu, they are in Way West, they are in Guma, they are in Logo, they are in Kwande. But this is a marathon, not a sprint. Today they have an enabling federal government. You know tomorrow. The war, you can win one battle in a war, General sir. It doesn't mean that you win the war. We are not doing well today, but we still did. Maybe tomorrow, as far as God has given us that land, we will ask those people who have invaded our land to take over, that they must return to us what is ours. They have won this battle, but we will eventually win the war. Thank you very much.